Imagine it's just after 9 in downtown Arvidsjaur. You were just at the local fast food place, finishing a meal even though it's way too early. Not because the food is so good, but for old time's sake. To remember what it was like when you were young, running about here, worrying about completely different things from now. You remember Grandma shopping for clothes in what was once a ladies' fashion store just over there. And how you and your squad mates were pissing off the locals by flirting with their girls at the hotel bar just down the road. How you showed your wife all this the first time and you had to ask the guys at the pizza place if they even had falafel because it wasn't on the menu. But you had a hunch. And they did. All those memories from a small town you never lived in. Yeah, you feel like you spend a lifetime in Arvidsjaur. Special place in your heart and your history. Much like these Truck Sim Diaries. And in this video series, I record my Euro Truck Simulator 2 gameplay and I use it as a backdrop for my unscripted thoughts on what's going on in my life and the world around me. Sometimes I will have a lot to say, sometimes I will just comment on the gameplay, and sometimes I'll just be quiet. So let's take a last look at downtown Arvidsjaur. Let the memories wash over us, and then move on, like we always do. But before we do anything, let's recap our progress in the Truck Sim Diaries Cruising Nordic Horizons event. This is an event we're running based on the World of Trucks community event, where we're going to do a delivery to or from all of the cities in the latest DLC release, Nordic Horizons. Right now we are in Arvidsjaur, and the plan is to go. We're in a pretty bad spot because all of the closest cities we've already done those, and we've already done Arvidsjaur, so we need to move down to Örnsköldsvik to pick up a job from there. That way we get to check off 2 jobs for the one job. Sorry, we get to check off 2 cities for the one job that we're going to do today. And another note on the gameplay here, I am running a modded game to reflect the real world weather where I live in Sweden. Also, I've set the game time to match the date of recording, which will have an impact on the daylight hours, especially in the north. This is to give you the real immersive experience and to let you know what kind of environment I'm coming from at the time of recording. Also, if you for any reason at all want to reach out, shoot me an email at easy@trucksimdiaries.com. Let's continue. Avik is 252 kilometers away.
Time to get the job done.
Sound go. Yeah, like I said, this Arvidsjaur has kind of always been in my life. It is a very small town, but by northern standards, it is quite the hub, actually. Because there's a military base here, and also they do intensive Arctic car testing around here. Arvidsjaur has an airport, which brings in a lot of different businesses, I suppose. And when I was little, I was born in Umeå, but my parents were non-problematic workaholics and a lot of other things. My parents did a lot of, well, let's say they did a lot of traveling. So they left me and my sister with my grandparents. lived in a very small town. By northern standards, not very far from Arvidsjaur, called Adak, A-D-A-K. And from there, if you needed to do any shopping or anything like that, Arvidsjaur was the place to go, because they had clothing stores, which the other smaller towns, of course, didn't have. And there were restaurants, and there were, it was a metropolis, comparatively speaking. So we kind of went there a lot, me and my grandparents. And, then I also did my military service. That was also in Arvidsjaur. And I have nothing but fond memories from Arvidsjaur. Each of these experiences that I've had there was, well, they were great. So it's a town that I'm very fond of. Yeah, it's cool that they put it in the game. We get to visit it. And then in like I want to say 2013 or something like that, I took my wife up here to show her kind of everything. She hadn't been in northern Sweden at all. So we went to stay in what was my mother's cabin back at the time in the Swedish mountains. Visited her, and we drove through. We took the route through Arvidsjaur because I wanted to show her, all this stuff, which was also a great experience. So yeah, it's a city that very close to my heart. I've always found Arvidsjaur to be very cool. Because when we went here when I was a kid, it was it was a big city, and when I went there, when I did my military service, that was quite the spectacular thing to do. That place was highly, and still is, I think, regarded as one of the, one of the finer regiments, but with more intense training. And I've always been very proud of my northern heritage, even though I haven't really lived many years in northern Sweden comparatively to the rest of my life.
Get ready to turn left.
But it is the place in my heart, for sure.
Turn left.
In Sweden, we have a burger chain called Max. They have this house here. It says Nils here in the game. The shape of this house that is that burger chain's typical house shape. And Max is such a sad. Max is such a sad example of, I don't know. It's a sad story of fast food restaurants in Sweden. In the 90s, Max was, up and coming. And they made all their burgers to order, so you had to wait for a little bit longer, but their quality was bar none. It was fantastic. And
At the roundabout, take the
their menu was, had a lot of items because they could make everything to order. Because they were competing with McDonald's, and
exit now.
in Umeå, the city where I was born, it's one of, if not the only, I don't know how, I haven't fact checked this, but it's one of the only, if not the only city in the world where McDonald's had to close shop after they've opened, because Umeå had Max hamburgers, and they were so good that McDonald's didn't really have anything, to offer. I know that they closed. I just don't know if Umeå was the only one. But they were able to put McDonald's out of
Go
business,
straight on.
and that's pretty cool. And I remember as a kid, that was the place to go. Like, the food was so good. The burgers were great. The fries were fantastic. Everything was like, when you got your order, like I said, it took a couple minutes longer. But at the time, we didn't really have, ready-made fast food. That wasn't the expectation of people. So that was just like, that's where you went to celebrate Max Burgers. And what's sad about it is that, they've fallen. Their quality has, it's been a slow decline of the quality. It is just,
Right.
their food now is just not good anymore. I haven't been there in years. For the longest time, I still tried, and I was like, kept telling myself that it was good. It's not. Just sloppy, disgusting. Everything that was good about it is just gone. And a couple years ago, there was this
And then continue straight
there
on.
was this big scandal of with their
Go straight on.
with how they keep their hygiene, like storing milkshake in the same buckets that they mop the floors with and stuff like that. Like, just not good. Now, I know that this pretty much probably goes for everyone,
Keep right.
but it's also like when they get busted with it, it kind of, fast food is not the most hygienic thing in the world. However, if you can look into the kitchen and just, I don't know, I'm not going to be all cynical. Innocent until proven guilty or something like that. But when they're guilty, they're fucking, they're guilty. So, now every time I see Max, I just get so sad, because they were the heroes. Just, it's stupid, but I remember when I was a kid, they had this item on the menu that was called cheese fries, and it's pretty common now. It's just French fries that they drowned in melted cheddar cheese. And I remember for my birthday, I got to pick what food I wanted. I used to pick that, so I wanted that, only cheese fries, nothing, no burger, no nothing, just the fries in large quantities. And that was great. It's just a shame that, you know, everything has to go to shit.
At the roundabout, take the third exit. Exit now. At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now. At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now.
I'm on my last day of, actually the last day of my Christmas holiday. Or winter leave, or whatever you're gonna call it. It's been really long. I think I've been home more than
At
2
the
weeks. And
roundabout,
like,
take the second
my entire family has been like completely disconnected from you know, real life. We really got into the time off, you know, part.
exit now.
You know how you get into, you just forget what you what you ever did for a living. It's been great. It's been a fantastic time. I feel really, honestly, truly relaxed and motivated. I am ready to get back to the everyday. I feel like it's time. It is time to get back to my routines. It is time to get back to just every day. I kept my workout schedule going, so that's good. However, since I work as an electrician, so I move around a lot at work, and I haven't been moving. I can feel that I have been sitting still a lot. It's been good, but now it's time to get going.
Exit now.
We're still covered in snow, so we'll see. Now I have to go out and face it. Up until now, I've been able to avoid it a little bit by just staying indoors. But now I'm gonna have to go out and just live in it. It is not as cold as it was. We were down to like, I think 18 negative degrees Celsius, but now I think we're more around 5 or something like that. I haven't really looked for today's forecast, but Yeah, we're doing okay. Weather-wise, it's fine. I don't feel too bad about it. And this is actually the first time in a long time that I've felt like this. Normally, this is a very hard time for me, the winter. But yeah, I think I'm gonna be okay. And my wife is away. I'm up early
Now.
recording this. Kids are still asleep. Well, I'd probably waking them up by now, but my wife is away. She's extracting a wisdom tooth today. I feel really bad for her. When I did that, it was a excuse me, it was a traumatic experience. I went to the dentist to do some work, and they found, on the x-rays, they found that I had like 2 wisdom teeth that needed to be extracted, or so they said. I think we reasoned so in Sweden, when you go to the dentist, it's of course not subsidized like the normal healthcare. So it's pretty expensive, but after a while you get into this high cost protection program or whatever, where, after a certain amount of money, it won't be as expensive, because then you would be fucking ruined. And it would land on, the regular healthcare, I suppose. I don't really know the logic about it, and frankly, I don't really care. So I had that going for me, and he was like, my dentist back then, he was like, well, since you are, within this coverage of the high cost protection thing, we can just extract these wisdom teeth now, if you want. And I was like, blue-eyed fucking moron. I was like, well, the reason I say that is because this guy had a lot of good ideas, which turned out to be not so good idea. So I'm a little bit upset with him. Anyway, we started extracting the wisdom teeth, and after an hour of fucking him sweating on my face because he tried so hard to get my wisdom tooth out, he was like, dude, you've lost too much blood, and I can't give you any more sedatives, so we need to put you in an ambulance because you need to go to the emergency room and get surgery for this right now. And I was like, so I had to be rushed to for emergency jaw surgery.
Please mind the speed.
And it was fucking like the surgeons. I remember the guys in the operating room. They were like, it was this, when I got into their OR, they were like, we're doing what? It's like, it was like, yeah, we're extracting a wisdom tooth. And these guys and girls, they were like, normally they take care of, motorcycle accidents where their face has been completely deformed. Like, this place looked like something out of a science fiction movie. Like this operating table with all the gear hanging in the ceiling right above you. It looked like fucking alien abduction kind of thing. And they were like, all right, I guess we can remove a wisdom tooth. Like, what the fuck? It's like me as an electrician, if someone would be like, can you come, I need you to come over, it's an emergency, I need you to flip my light switch. I'd be like, you want me to what? Not saying that I'm better or anything, but just, it's a little too simple of a task. And it was for these, well, I mean, they did a great job because obviously they knew what they were doing and they had the right gear and the right training, which my asshole dentist didn't. So, you know, they got it out. But it was, I remember it was a rough couple of weeks afterwards, because like after you extract your wisdom tooth, you get this hole in your mouth. This is a little disgusting, I'm sorry, but there's a hole in your jaw where this where this tooth once was.
Okay, let's find a new route.
So like that little hole
Make a U-turn.
fills up with, oh god, this is so disgusting, I'm sorry. That little hole fills up with food from when you
Please make
eat,
a U-turn when
and it
possible.
stinks. So you need to wash it, and what you do is you take this big syringe and you kind of just, I'm sorry about this, I'll stop talking, it's just
Find a new
disgusting.
route.
So yeah, honey, I hope you were fine in your surgery, and that you don't have all those disgusting things. And if you do, then I'm sorry I reminded you of it. All right, we're in Quest Week. Let's take a look at our job list here. All right, let's take a look at our jobs here. Umeå, we already have Umeå. Vasa is already done. Sundsvall, we need to check off, but this is too short, so we can't do Sundsvall now. Vasa, we already have. Skellefteå, Östersund, we could do that one. 278, we can do that one. Let's see what else we got. Finland is all done. Västerås is not on the list. Poland, Estonia, Finland, Estonia. Linköping is not on the list. Bodø. We need to do Bodø. What else do we have up there? I think we're going to save this. We're going to do Östersund, because we are in Örnsköldsvik now, and we'll do Östersund. That'll check us off Örnsköldsvik and Östersund, and from Östersund we'll go to Sundsvall and check off Sundsvall. Nice and tight. Let's do it. Cargo's waiting to be loaded. Let's do this. You know, there's a first time for everything. In this roundabout, I've driven in this roundabout forever. When I'm going up north to visit my mother or go home back to Umeå, I come from here, from the left, and I take this round. Well, I'll stop at this gas station to drink coffee or whatever. But then Umeå is that way, and this roundabout, I have never in my life turned this way. In this roundabout, this is the first time for everything. I have no clue. I've been through this town probably hundreds of times, but I have no clue what's over here. I never spent. Oh, I'm sorry.
Keep right.
I never spend any time in Örnsköldsvik. The city does not have the best reputation. The kids who live in Östersund, they go to Umeå to party, because this town is Örnsköldsvik. We abbreviate Örnsköldsvik to just Övik, which is just Ö is the first letter, and then all the other letters we skip, and then we go to Vik. And the nickname is Dövik, which means dead.
Turn left.
There's a helo down there. That was cool. So apparently this city is not much to live in, but I don't know, I've never been here. I've only stopped for coffee. It's okay, but you know. And I've never been to our destination, Östersund, either. I will hopefully go there this summer, though. There is a pretty well-known hiking trail that is called Jämtlands Triangle, the Jämtlands Triangle. And I've been, nurturing this idea of going for longer hikes for a while. And my wife is kind of down. She's not down for multiple days, but she turns out she was down for a couple days. And the Jämtlands Triangle hiking trail, that is just a 3-day hike. And she's open to it. So we looked at a video, and she was like, I don't want to do any mountain climbing or anything like that. She's normally like this. I'm like, oh, hey, you want to do, fun thing? And she's like hesitant at first because she always gets a little surprised. Like I don't know, she's a little defensive. It's like she's got her guard down because she haven't thought the entire project through from A to Z with every possible thing that could possibly happen. Therefore, she's like, wait, hold the fuck up. Like, who do you think you are? But that's how we roll. That's kind of, I think I get this idea and I don't think of anything. I'm like, let's do the thing. And she has to kind of ground us a little bit. So I was like, oh, let's do the Jämtlands Triangle. And there are mountains there. And she's like, there's not going to be any mountain climbing. I don't want to do that. It's scary. Like, defensive. And I was like, yeah, sure. We don't have to. We can just do the hike. It's nice. It's a nice, she always says this. She's like, I don't want to walk too far and I don't want to carry too much. That's like, and I don't want to climb any mountains. That's always her, like, that's her touch off point. And then she ends up, bringing way more stuff than she plans, and she's like a pack mule, like a donkey. Like, she can carry anything and go forever. Because I'm like, hey, let's stop for some food, and she's like, yeah, but like we're just 9 rest stops away from being 10 kilometers longer than we expected, so we just keep powering through it. And I'm like, yeah, but no, I need to really stop, like, lady. So she doesn't really know herself very well, but luckily I do. So she's going to be just fine, and I think she's going to enjoy it. So what we did was we looked at a video, and that's always a good thing to do. Just look at a video so she can get some kind of first-person perspective of what the experience is going to be like, because then she can like imagine it inside her head, and she'll be a lot warmer to the idea of whatever we're going to do. So we did that, and they show you when they climb the top of the Storsjön mountain, the biggest mountain in that region. And from that mountain you can walk across into Norway, and while you do that you may meet some Norwegians who are doing the same thing, but except that they're crossing over into Sweden on top of the mountain. Like, the mountain top stretches across the two countries. It's pretty cool. So I showed her that of a guy who took like his teenage kid on that hike. And oh fuck, she thought it looked cool, so she was like, that doesn't look too bad. And I was like, yeah. So hopefully we get to do that. We have the tent now. She says she wants to stay in cabins, but I think she would rather sleep in the tent. She doesn't know it yet. Let's check off Örnsköldsvik and load this cargo. Cargo's loaded.
Drive safe.
Let's go. More snow. And we got more snow. I need to go out shoveling snow again. And that's gonna be great. I hurt my back because I'm stupid and impatient when I'm shoveling snow. That's what happens. Oh, hey, you know what? Let's pull over and plan this. Wait. We're going for 278 kilometers. We got fuel for 426 kilometers. ETA is 5 hours of in-game time. We need to rest in 9 hours and 1 hour, 9 hours and 1 minute of in-game time. So we don't need to plan any rest because we're not gonna have to. We only got 16 minutes of real-world driving estimated. We'll go a little bit longer than that because the estimation is always a little bit off, but not too far away. So depending on the situation in real life, I might be able, just might be able to. Can't make any promises,
Please mind the speed limit. Get ready.
but I might be able
Turn right.
to do another job after this. That'd be fucking cool.
Turn right.
4 check marks in one sitting. Crazy. And I'm looking forward. I've been enjoying this, checking these cities off,
Turn left.
but we're just burning through it. I'm looking for so much forward about to the next contract. I know what it is. I'm not going to tell you. You'll just have to wait and see, but it's going to be great. It is. It's maybe not what you think it will be, but just considering all the DLC that we have, like all the new things. I look forward to it. It's going to be fun. This bridge that we're coming up to is called Höga Kusten-bro. We're heading into a large section of Sweden that is called Höga Kusten or High Coast. It is one of the most beautiful places in Sweden, and this bridge, I always cross this bridge when I'm going to go visit my mother in Umeå. And this bridge is very, you can't see it now because I chose to drive you through this in the dark and in the snow, but it is a very high bridge, believe it or not. And this region of the country that we're heading into now is just fantastically beautiful. It is a place I would also want to spend some hiking time in. And the place that I want to go to, it's just a 3 hours drive from where my mother lives. So a couple years ago, me and my wife, the entire family went to visit my mother, and me and my wife, we had planned, I think it was a 3 or 4 day, hiking adventure in the high coast. We were going to, every other day we were going to go hiking, and every other day we were going to go paddling. Because we both love kayaking. So the idea was to, leave the kids with my mom, and go and just have those days together. We were ready to leave, everything was packed. We were just about to say goodbye to the kids, and my daughter got sick. It's like you can't win, So we couldn't go, and we couldn't get a refund. We had rented a cabin. That was going to be awesome, and we were supposed to stay there, and we couldn't get a refund because it was too close to, whatever. That was a disappointment. I'm not disappointed at my daughter for getting sick. It's not her fault, of course, but I really wanted to go. This was multiple, I think this was maybe 5 years ago, 6 years, something like that. And we still haven't done the thing. It's like we didn't get a rematch or anything. We just never went. And I think it's a little sad because I think if we would have gone, our common hiking interest would have fared well from it. I'm not saying that either of us are disinterested. It just would have been a boost. And I think we've lost a couple years of doing those things together, because it was like the feeling we got at the time was like we thought we were ready to do this thing, but obviously we can't. So we didn't try. The year after, or a couple days after, or anything like that, we just didn't go. And so it just never happened. And I still feel like I kind of want to do it. keeping it very light at 4 tons with this job. So the truck is punchy. Hopefully, since we're out of Norway, we won't get those crazy fuel consumption numbers that we've gotten lately, but you know, who knows? We're stopping and starting a lot here. All right, let's take a look at some questions.
Go straight on.
If the world is unfair and there's no karma, why do you still choose to do good? And this is an interesting question that I've heard thrown around in multiple different variations. One of them is, well, the karma. Like, you do this so that you can, you know, if you're kind to others, good things will come to you. And it's basically a reformulation of the same, like, concept here, that you can formulate it in a bit harsher way. And that is like, everything you do for others, you primarily do for yourself. Like, you are kind to others because how it either
Go straight on.
gets you better things, like if you give people, if you're nice to someone, they will treat you better, give you nicer things. So you win by, you know, it is in your best interest to be nice to others. The motivation is self-serving. And the other thing is that your generosity and your sympathy is only because it makes you feel better about yourself. Like the idea would be that is, you know, stroking your own ego or whatever. And my thought on this, it's like, it doesn't matter. My wife expressed this thought as well, and I thought it sounded so good when she said it. That it doesn't matter. Who cares if someone is nice to others only because they want to make themselves feel good about it? What matters is that they are nice to others, you know? Who cares about the motivation behind it? And honestly, who cares? Because karma, like the insane belief that you're reborn or whatever, or like immediate, like you do things to others because you want others to do good things to you. It doesn't matter. Who cares why? As long as you do it, you know? And why do I do it? I think that it doesn't make me feel any different. For me, like, the good things I do for others is when I see someone in an emergency, of course I help, because if someone needs something that I can supply them with, I do it, even if and when it is a big cost to myself. Like, I sacrifice something, I give something that I have to someone else. That means that I don't have this thing anymore because I gave it away. I do that a lot. I give away a lot of different things, and sometimes it doesn't land very well, because there's this whole thing about when you accept a gift, a lot of people feel like they owe someone something. So you need to be careful with what you give to whom and why. I'm not careful. I just give things away. So when something happens like if I stop at a car crash or some other kind of emergency, people are often very thankful, and I'm not comfortable with receiving a lot of thanks. I don't want to stand there and be like, you know, pour it on me. I'm uncomfortable with that. I think it's a self-worth issue for me, because it doesn't matter if it's an emergency or someone just wants something that I can give them, or they really need it or whatever. I don't feel like I gotta prove my worth to others. It's just that when I see something where someone suffers, where I can make a difference, I will feel so awful about the situation that I can't stand it. And when it's done, I don't feel a great sense of accomplishment. I don't feel like I've, you know, earned some goodness points or whatever. It's just a relief that that bad situation is gone. And we can all move on. Just,
Please mind the speed limit.
I'm like, don't mention it, and I really mean it. Like, let's not talk about it. I did not enjoy helping. I'm just relieved that it's over. You know? What does that say about me? I mean, I still do it for my own best interest, because I get back into a neutral instead of being in a negative. So I mean, it serves me as well, of course. I'm not saying that I'm above or beyond that in any capacity at all. But it's just that, like with homeless people, I help them all the time. I buy food for them. I found them sleeping in garages. Sometimes I park my car so that the space that they're sleeping in will not be a viable parking spot for someone else, and they will be a little bit more hidden from the guys who will eventually come and you know, tell them to leave. I buy food, I put it there, and then I just leave. It's not like I don't want them to. It doesn't matter. I don't feel like I need to be secret. It's just that it doesn't matter if they know who did it or not, as long as they have something to eat when they wake up, and that they get to sleep in the warmth. Like, how bad does your life have to be that you choose to sleep in a cold concrete, on a cold concrete floor in a garage? You know, outside is wetter and even colder, so you opt for the concrete floor and you just lay down on the ground and sleep like that. That is just wrong. That the fact that we have that, and Sweden doesn't have a lot of it, but we do have some of it, and you know, it is enough to me to feel like fucking, like we've all failed. But I don't stay awake over this stuff. Like, I don't open my house to, you know, all the homeless people can come and live here. It's just that when I see it, I just get into this.
Get ready to turn right.
This feeling of emergency, and
Turn right.
you know, I see what options and assets I have
Get ready
to make this
turn
situation just go away, and then I do that.
Turn right.
We're here. Let's check off Östersund. Alright, start for this cute little job. 290 kilometers, 30.3 liters per 100. Not good. 0% damage, that's good. No fines either. 24 minutes of driving from Örnsköldsvik to Östersund. 4 tons of rock bucket. We went through a toll gate. Income was 6,601 credits. Taxes was 990. Other cost was 1 credit. That was the in Sundsvall, the toll gate. Fuel cost was 143. Revenue was 5,466. 3 out of 5 stars for overall delivery rating. 5 out of 5 for damage. 1 out of 5 for distance. 5 stars for fine. 5 stars for fuel economy. No stars for mass. 105 hardcore points. So there's that. Let's keep going. The next stop is Sundsvall, where we're gonna pick up the next cargo and check that city off. So let's go.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right.
We need to stop for fuel and we need to stop for rests. Just blew past the rest stop. So that's not good. Let's see if there's anything close. Or should I turn around? The gas station that we're going to has a rest stop. Yeah, that should be fine. This could be fine. We'll do that one. Let's not worry too much. We do, however, need to worry about these questions. I got a good one that I thought that I wanted to talk to you about. Here it is. And this is important. What is a polite way to let your guests know it's time to wrap up and head home? I've been struggling with this one my entire life, and I think the biggest reason why I never invite people into my home is because my social battery runs out, and then it's time to ask them to leave. And the question here is, how do you do that in a polite way? And I think the main thing here is to know that it is not impolite to let people know that that you're tired and it's time to wrap up. What is impolite is to assume that they can't take that and just keep going for the reason of just keeping going. You know what I mean? That would be the impolite thing to do. To just say, oh, this has been a great night. Unfortunately, you could, what I like, would have tried with success, not when people are here necessarily, because I haven't got that far yet, that I want to invite people to my home, but to say like, oh, I've had a great time, I've had a great night so far, like if I'm out, I've had a great night so far, but my social battery's running out, so I need to go back home and recover. And people are like, oh, good. And because most of the time when I've said that, people are also in the same situation. They're like, yes, let's go home. It's been good. It's been fun. Let's go home. But I think maybe if you want to avoid that interaction, when you plan something with your guests, at the planning phase, let them know, you know yourself, you know kind of how many hours you got in you. The best thing you can do is to just let them know how many hours you're talking about when you're planning it. Be like, how about you guys show up at 5 and then we'll wrap it up at like 8 or 9 or midnight or whatever. You know, by now you should know about where your limits are. And if you have set that limit, you have planted in their heads that there is a limit, and that you are just aware of your limits. That's not rude. That's not being impolite. That is just you knowing what limits you operate with. Because everybody needs to go to bed. Like, it's not weird. And let's say you overpromise. You tell them, let's have you over by 5, and you can, and between 5 and, I don't know, 11. And then at 9, after dinner,
Take the second exit.
you're like, shit, man, I'm getting a low battery warning,
Exit
Say that.
now.
It's not a problem. You've already introduced the thought of there being a limit to this. So just say that, like, unfortunately I ran out of, my social battery ran out sooner than I had expected, and I think it's time we wrap this up. It's been a great night so far. Just say that. It's perfectly fine. They won't be upset. They'd be like, oh, well, if they're good friends, and if they can't take that, don't worry about not being polite. Get them the fuck out of your house. Never invite them again. Sorry about the language. My wife loves animals. She also always wants to, whenever we're out, she always wants to stop and pet them. The goats like this. I've got so many pictures of her petting cows and goats and just all kinds of animals. All right, let's get that precious sleep. Well, we wake up at 7:44. It's time to go, but the sun is not up. And it won't be for a couple of hours. Hey, this looks like charging stations. Sorry, I just want to see what they'll look like. The reason why I find this fascinating is up until now there hasn't been any kind of charging stations in Euro Truck Simulator. This is pretty interesting. There are electric trucks, but you can't own them in the game unless you're running mods. And there's no way to charge them, so when you run out of charge, I don't know what I don't play with electric vehicles, so I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing. You can't charge them anywhere because there's no charging infrastructure. But now I guess there is at least some. So they got a lot of work ahead of them if they're going to do that. Just add chargers to, I guess, dropping a couple charger bottles at the gas stations is not an impossible task. And speaking of that, the developers of this game, SCS Software, it's a pretty big company. It's like 400 or 500 people or something like that. And I listen to some live streams from them every now and then, and follow their blog posts. It's one of the few that still has, a blog. I enjoy that format. I like it a lot. And they recently posted a Google Street View kind of experience through their office, because their office is it's in the Czech Republic. I think it's in Prague. I'm not sure. Their office is quite impressive. Like, it looks like, I guess it looks like any software company's, nice office. But I so very much would like to visit them. Like, they have these fan days. And, I would love to go on something like that. I don't know how that works. I haven't looked into it. But just being in the place where people work on this game that I spend so much time in, and just look behind the scenes how kind of they work with it. I guess, it's always a double-edged sword of, and normally I don't like to, I think this is a bad idea now that I think of it, because normally I don't like to meet any of the creators behind any of the, like, music or videos or any kind of material that I enjoy. And I think I wouldn't want to, wouldn't want to interact with the developers of this game, if I'm going to be honest. Too much, at least, because I wouldn't want, the reason why I never like to meet any of my idols or whatever, I don't idolize people. I don't care much about the person behind something that I enjoy, because I really don't want to know. Because the chances that they will make whatever you're enjoying better are slim. Like, really slim. But the risk of them tainting it is very high. I have a hard time separating the person who does something from the thing that they do. One of my biggest examples of this is the band Tool, Tool. I was a huge fan of Tool for a very big part of my life. Their music has meant so much to me. However, with the rise of social media, I got in the way of one of the band members' output, and like he's not a the reason why I just regret that is because he's an asshole. Like, he's just a big asshole. And now I know that, so now I hear this asshole whatever every time I hear their music. And so that's it for that music. We're done. I don't want to listen to it anymore. It just got completely ruined. And I wish that didn't happen, because I enjoy their music and I miss, I miss it. I really do. So, like, what does that have to do with this? Well, I don't want to get too deep into the mind of the people who make this game, because, like, whatever motivations they have to make something and place something, I don't want that in my mind, in my experience, because their motivations behind something can taint my experience of that thing. Does that make sense?
Go straight up.
I want my thoughts in my head when I am enjoying something. I don't want anyone else's thoughts on that thing. Especially not the creator, because, might be a bit much. We are in Sundsvall now. Oh shit. We're just gonna find somewhere to park. There's a fuel station up ahead that I have set as the waypoint. And if there's nothing else, that'll be our spot. These kinds of roundabouts that are under the highway, the highway goes up on this bridge here on my left and across the bridge. These roundabouts, they're very familiar to me. I've been through these roundabouts so many times. Rarely do I go across the bridge because there's a great burger place in Sundsvall that I stop at. Me and my kids love it. My wife tolerates it. So we always get off the highway, take our rest stop in Sundsvall. They have this huge aluminum factory. Oh, they made the aluminum thing. Alumcore is the name of it here. I don't know the name of the factory in real life. You can see in the back, in the rear view mirror, you can see these kind of silos or whatever. There's a lot of that. So that's cool. Alright, we're good on fuel and we're good on rest. So all we need to do is just stop. Oh, and these factory... Oh, and it says aluminum on the... You see how it says aluminum on one of the stacks there? It does that in real life. That's... that's so cool. In Swedish, it's called aluminium. Alright, let's stop right here. Take a look at the job list. Alright, so we are in Sundsvall. And we want to get out of here. Let's see what we got. We've already have these cities. Vasa, Falun, we don't have Falun. Is this enough? 234. This is perfect. Falun is on the list. Sundsvall is on the list. What else we have? Don't have much else. This is a great option. This is perfect. And we can just go over to Gävle for the job after that. But let's take it one thing at a time. Excavator Volvo EC220E from Sundsvall to Falun. That's our job. Pickup's pretty close.
Ready to roll.
Let's go. Somewhere around here there is a house that has a soccer ball on the roof. And I want to know if... Oh shit. This is not where we get off. I want to know if they model that house, because you can't... Well, I guess you can't miss it. I will find out.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Turn right.
This is turning into quite the productive day. Quite the long episode. But I know you like it long. So do I. I actually prefer the longer ones. I get more relaxed because I'm always a little nervous every time I start recording. Like, I look forward immediately when I stop recording. I'm like, I look forward to the next thing, because I enjoy this so much, with everything that goes with it, like the whole production of it, the planning and the everything. Not that it's too much, it's just like this perfect amount of effort that tickles enough of my interests, like the graphical elements, the photography of the shooting, everything, and then just the pure enjoyment of doing it, of course. And then the different ways I have to use my creativity to breathe some life into this game, which is, honestly, it's a little, you know, the base game is a little stale. You just drive. But yeah, I enjoy the process of all of this. Plus, just, of course, the biggest thing, the best thing for me is that I have this platform where I can just speak my mind without thinking too heavy on what I talk about. And I rarely remember what I talk about. My wife can be like, "Oh, I heard you're recording," and I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "What did you talk about?" And I'm like, "I got to find. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what I talked about. You listen to it. I don't know. I have no clue." And that's good. It's a good thing.
Here we are. Safe and sound.
Let's check off Sundsvall and load this cargo. Cargo's loaded.
Time to hit the road.
It's time to hit the road. Alright, this is also a pretty small job. We're going for 235 kilometers. We got fuel for 10 times that. ETA is 3 hours and 50 minutes of in-game time. We will not need to rest. Real world estimated time of driving is 12 minutes. So it's a short run, but it's effective. All right, let's deal with a question. How many of you tell your male friends you love them? Now, this is a question directed towards men. So it's, how many of you men tell your male friends that you love them, which you do? I kind of go back and forth with this because I very much like to tell people that I love them when I do. Because I don't know, I feel it intensely, and I just want them to know it because I know that people are so confused, and the potential to not know for sure is so very high, especially amongst men, that many men can go through life not knowing that people actually love them. So I figured I'd tell them. And I don't know if that's the best thing to do, to be honest. Because there's a conflict between men needing to hear it, which is the opinion I'm at, but also not being able to handle it. And they won't be able to say it back in many cases to me, even if they do. They might not even have, you know. I think about my friends and the people in my life a lot, like in the every day to day. And I know that, you know, I know that I love them. And they know because I told them. But I don't think every guy does this. So I think many of the times, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman that says "I love you" to a man, to a man, since they don't know how to respond. You often get into the situation where, you know, you've seen so many times where women are like, why won't you say it back? I don't care about them saying it back. It's not why I do it. I don't tell them I love them because I want them to tell me that they love me so that I can feel loved. I just want them to know that they are. But many times after I've said that, it's gotten awkward. And nobody likes awkward. Especially not men, because they're like, oh shit, did something change? Which it didn't. But so to answer the question, how many of you did? But now, honestly, I don't know. Like, the next friend that I get, will I tell them this? I don't know. Because honestly, I think maybe I tell them for my sake, maybe not for their sake, because I would just want to express my emotion because that feels good for me. But I'm not thinking about how it lands, you know? I think what I need to do is learn more about who I'm feeling this for. And think of a way to express it so that they feel loved. But it goes into conflict with my idea that I think that everyone needs to hear it literally. Because it's not this emotion that you save for like a very special occasion. This is one of the things that just makes me feel sick to my stomach when I see my in-laws interact with my children. That is their grandchildren. And my kids are very expressive. I tell them I love them every day, multiple times a day. And they express this. They say, I love, they say that they tell me that I love me. They tell me that they talk about how they love their friends. They tell me that they love their family members. And they can say to their grandmother, my wife's mother, my daughter said, Grandma, I love you. She's fucking, sorry about the language. I need to stop this, but she fucking didn't say it back. Instead, she just stood there fucking awkward and then said like, I really like you. And what is it that is so hard? How can it be difficult to tell a child that you love it? Just fucking, is it hard to love a child? No. And of course she does. She just got this thought in her head that this word is something that you need to save. And I could tell because I've never heard her say that to my wife. I've never heard her say that to anyone. I got this ridiculous idea that this is not something you tell people.
Right.
You save it.
Exit right.
And that's bullshit. Especially kids.
Right.
They need to hear it. They need to hear the words. They need to hear the words many times over and over and over again until they get fucking sick of hearing it. And because they know it so well, they don't want to hear it one more time. Because we can't afford to have them doubting it. We can't afford to have them doubting it emotionally. We need to make them feel loved. And we can't afford to have them doubt it logically. They need to hear it. And it just grinds my gears so bad when this woman just keep acting like a goddamn moron. We're checking out Fallen. So that was quite the productive day as far as the Truck Sim Diaries Cruising Nordic Horizons event is concerned. Let's take a look at the stats for this one. 245 kilometers, 33.1 liters per 100, no damage for 21 minutes of driving from Sundsvall to Fallen. We pulled an excavator for 245. Plan was 234, so that's good. 8,525 was the total income. Tax 1,278. Other cost was the toll gate at the bridge, and then fuel cost 151. Revenue is 7,093. This job cannot be considered hardcore simulation because it was too short of a distance, so we get no stars for this one. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time with this. I really do appreciate it a lot. And remember to take care of yourself. You are important, and you need to last for a long time. Bye.